I fancy myself in that pink hairpiece. Think it look good in
No,
that?
I don't fancy you in that pink hairpiece.
I thought the blue felt hat for you.
I never find anything good in charity shops. Nothing vintage, just rubbish, basically.
Here's something vintage.
Oh.
Well, no, but he is. He's a
Not
classic.
rubbish.
Rob McElwee.
Morning.
Right. I'm starting this morning. I'm hoping this will be the last of the grey, gloomy days which so many of us experienced over the last week or so. Now, this is reasonably representative, seen from space, of the amount of significant cloud over the UK, with big holes in it. Now, if you were following that hole down to northern France and you looked at what was being reported at the moment, it's quite foggy. Now, that's not a significant problem to us, although surprisingly, where the temperatures are at their lowest on the south coast of England, this is, and follow this line up, this is the area where it is murky this morning, and there is some fog and just a little frost around. Now, it's not a significantly dangerous problem, and it's only this area affected. I mean, look at the temperatures elsewhere. 11 over a good part of Scotland, for example, represented by Fort William in the middle of the Highlands. Birmingham, top of the cold area, I think, really. So if you are travelling around for the Midlands, East Anglia and southern England, particularly the southeast of England at the moment, it's cold and it is murky, but fog is very, very patchy. We're still on the edge of our cold winter high, which is more or less centred somewhere in Eastern Europe. Because we've been on the eastern flank for so long now, we've just been catching the edge of this cold weather, and really it's been the southeast corner that's held on to it longest. Well, it all goes tonight. We push down to the way, into Eastern Europe, and we're into what we would call mobile weather. It comes in from the Atlantic. Wind and rain will be on the agenda, but not long-term greyness. So that's, I think, a pleasant change. The rain may not be, but there you go. Monday's particularly windy day by the look of it. Tuesday a little less so, and we start to turn the wind around a bit. But for this morning, it is still grey and gloomy to start with, more or less from Yorkshire southwards, although North Yorkshire's looking quite good, Northumberland as well. And the sun is out, it will be, it will be, he says at 6:30 in the morning, in full force in Cornwall and in Devon. This afternoon, I think we'll still see a lot of the cloud churning around, and it won't be gorgeous blue sunshine everywhere. And for Northern Ireland and Western Scotland, the rain starts to come in. But as temperatures are already double figures, they're not going to change very much for many. Hitting 7s or 8s, I suspect, somewhere in the eastern side of England. Fine for all sports.
In a few moments, we're going to get the latest personal finance news in It's Your Money.
First, though, let's get a summary of the morning's news for the time at 6:30. The first group of 20 al-Qaeda and Taliban prisoners being held at the Guantanamo Bay military base in Cuba are being questioned today. Human rights groups are expressing concern over the transportation and housing of the prisoners. At least one man was sedated during the 20-hour flight, and there were reports that some of them may have been hooded. The United States has defended its treatment of the prisoners by saying that they are not eligible for protection under the Geneva Conventions.
Police in central London have launched a murder inquiry after dozens of commuters witnessed a stabbing at Euston Underground station in last night's evening rush hour. The victim, a woman, was attacked on a platform by a man believed to be a former boyfriend. 2 men who attempted to intervene were wounded.
It's emerged that one of the probable contenders to succeed Dr. George Carey as Archbishop of Canterbury was once a Roman Catholic. The Bishop of Rochester, Michael Nazir Ali, has said he was a lay member of the Catholic Church during his youth, while he still lived in Pakistan. Michael Nazir Ali is the 3-to-1 favourite to succeed George Carey, who announced his retirement earlier this week.
Israeli naval vessels have fired a missile at a Palestinian police dock on the Gaza Strip. No one was hurt in the attack on the dock, housing Yasser Arafat's private boat. It came as the Palestinian Authority arrested 3 of its own security officers for trying to smuggle weapons into the country.
President Bush's administration is trying to distance itself from one of its former financial backers, the Enron Corporation. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating the biggest ever corporate collapse. Tens of thousands of small investors lost everything, while Enron's top executives sold their shares before the crash. Vital evidence has disappeared, and the company's chairman is a close friend of George W. Bush.
In the United States, a man has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter after he beat another parent to death at their son's ice hockey practice near Boston. Thomas Junter faces up to 20 years in prison for beating Michael Costin to death outside the locker room where his 10-year-old son was changing.
People living in parts of the American state of Montana have been treated to an unexpected sight. Here it is, a bright orange and yellow fireball from a falling piece of space debris. Amateur astronomers said as the object grew bigger, it appeared to break into two. A third object is reported to have streaked across the sky a few minutes later. They were caught on film by a local television station.
The legendary boxer Muhammad Ali has been given a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. The star will be installed on the wall instead of the pavement, as the former heavyweight boxer said he didn't want his name to be walked on by people who didn't respect him. I still call him the shots. That is the news at 6:33.